this, boys. Good morning and welcome back to Naseby for the QRC Winter Games New Zealand curling competition fueled by Forsyth Barr. This is our final round-robin draw. Later on today, we begin the playoffs. This is our final round-robin game. It's a good one for you. It's New Zealand 1 taking on Canada. If Canada wins this game, they will advance into the playoffs. So it's a huge game for them, huge game for both teams. Earlier on this week, we had a chance to have a chat with both of them. Well, tremendous final stone by you, Emily. And Courtney made an amazing corner freeze to force you into that shot. What were you thinking prior to throwing that stone?
Just before she threw, I was like, I hope she's gonna miss it. So I will not have to throw my shot. But after, she made a good shot, okay, but I have to make another one better.
And you made it fantastic. You drilled the pin for the win. Congratulations. And Robert, you were mentioning to me off camera that you felt the ice conditions were changing a little bit in that game.
Well, don't get me wrong. The ice is fantastic. The guy out there, they're doing a great job. But I find it challenging to keep up with the weight. It might be, the heater system, might be the compressor, whatever, but at some point it changes very quickly on us. Like the first forehand, we felt that we were throwing the draws like with pretty much weight and then rotation, aggressively. And then at the fifth hand, suddenly those throws were not good at all. They were all going back 12. And we didn't catch on that, and they did. So that's why they kicked our ass in the fifth.
Well, we saw a great example in that game of how difficult it is to protect a lead in mixed doubles. And we saw when the New Zealanders set up for the power play, you elected to try and tick the corner guard. Is that your standard tactic for trying to defend power play?
Yeah, when we lead with 2 or more, we're trying to take, because it's the burst shot in this situation. But if we are leading only by 1, we're trying to guard or just go behind.
Come around, I guess.
Come around, yeah.
And if we're down, then we try to. Actually, it's an interesting question because we've had an issue with that. We've been very, very, very bad last year against the power play. So at one point we said, okay, let's fix exactly what we're going to do, because every time it goes wrong, we should have played that one. We should have played. So we decided the score and what shot we're going to do. And we're going to do that for a full year. And after the year, then we'll just look at the stats and see how it worked and maybe make some changes. But no, our results, considering our level of play, were really not good against the power play.
Well, this perhaps is the benefit of an early season competition like the QRC Winter Games. As you start your competitive season, it gives you a chance to try out different tactics. I was really impressed with your play in the middle ends. You were really drilling freeze after freeze after freeze. Is that really a strength of your game, do you think?
Yeah, when we catch our draw rate and we are able to always freeze at the good place, it's an element that we're going to use as much as we can.
Well, 1 round robin game remaining, still alive for the playoffs. What's your thinking going into that final round robin game?
Well, thanks to Australia, by the way. With their win against Finland, it's really helping us. If Finland would have won both their last game, I think we would have been out of the situation. So thanks to them. But sorry for Finland, because they're really nice people. I love them. Yeah, 1 more game to go, and if we get our destiny in our own hands, so let's just play another solid game. Maybe all 8 hands would be good that time, but at least I think we made more shots today, definitely, than against Korea.
Well, we've enjoyed watching you play. Thank you very much for joining us today, and good luck in your final round-robin game.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
We're joined by Team New Zealand, Jessica Smith and Ben Smith. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Now, this is a fantastic opportunity for you to compete internationally. You're New Zealand's defending mixed doubles national champions. What does this mean for you in terms of an event for your preparation this year?
It's pretty huge to have this in New Zealand. Obviously, we're going to Kelowna next year, so if we can get a bit of practice in and learn what we can from this, it'll help us hugely for next year.
And you've had a chance to play against your fellow teams from New Zealand that are in this competition and local teams. You've had a chance to play against Australian teams. What's it like to play against some of the other international teams that are here this week? Jess?
It's a challenge, but we always like a challenge. I think it sets us to see what it will be like on the world stage at the Worlds, so it's good practice for us, yeah.
Now, both of you compete in men's and women's curling as well as mixed doubles curling. For each of you, how would you compare the two disciplines, playing in the men's competition versus playing mixed doubles? What are the dynamics? What are the differences? And what things do you love about MD?
I guess mixed doubles, you mostly throw into the center, so a lot of your shots are similar, but then, I guess there's a lot of different shots you'll play in the fours game. Yeah.
Jess, what do you think?
I think with mixed doubles, like, you're just relying on you and your other partner.
Right.
So you got to be, I think, quite close. Well, we're brother and sister, so I don't know if you can get much closer. I think with fours, you have a bit more of a social time because you're in a team of four. But yeah, I like both. Yeah.
Now, you've both grown up in this area with this rink, and I've said during broadcast the New Zealand teams have not only grown up with the rink, but they've grown up with mixed doubles. That was really a form of the game that all of the New Zealand teams here started playing quite early in your playing careers, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think me and Jess have been playing together for 4 years in the Nationals now, so we started pretty young, early in our curling careers, and I feel like we understand the game reasonably well.
Well, that's quite clear by your performance. You're national champions, two-time national champions, and playing really well here this week. Now, you've got a game coming up against Canada, and Canada, one of the leading curling nations. Is it something that you anticipate, or is it just something you treat as just another game?
I think if we anticipate it too much, it'll get in our heads a little bit. So I think if we just take it as another game, just play how we've been playing, and do what we can do.
Well done to both of you. You're playing really well this week. You've got games ahead. Best wishes for both of you for the rest of the tournament.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we've met our teams, setting up for our morning draw here at the QRC Winter Games Mixed Doubles Curling Tournament, presented by Forsyth Barr. It's Canada taking on New Zealand. Final game of pool play as the athletes get ready for the game as we meet Team New Zealand. Here's Jessica Smith, her teammate brother Ben, and there's Ben. Current New Zealand national mixed doubles champions, two-time champions. They will represent New Zealand at the 2020 World Mixed Doubles Curling Championship. That will be next April in Kelowna. And here is Team Canada. Émilie Desjardins and her father and teammate, Robert Desjardins. They're from the province of Quebec, the French-speaking part of Canada. Big game for the Canadians. They are still hopeful of making the playoff phase. To do that, they must win this game. We'll keep the eye on the other games as well for you over on sheet B. It's Australia 1 versus New Zealand 3. And on sheet D, it is Korea versus Finland. Korea and Australia have already clinched their playoff positions. So that precious third and final playoff spot up for grabs right now. Glad you're with us.
Are you sure we have him? Are you sure we have him?
Teams doing the pre-game draws, and here's the look at the playoffs, and here are the brackets as we know them. Korea, Sweden, pool winners, they advance directly into tomorrow's semifinal. We can see there will be the playoffs 1 and 2, so Australia 1, New Zealand 2, that will be one playoff game. USA will face the third place team that comes out of Pool A, and that's what we're going to learn this morning. The winners of the semifinals go on to the gold medal game. The losers of the semifinals will play for the bronze. We will have all of the playoff action for you live on Sky Sport.
Also perfectly full eight. Both our rocks were full in the 8 foot.
Little bit of discussion here with the officials. The teams throw pre-game draw shots to determine the draw shot distance, to determine who has last rock advantage, and there seems to be some discussion and debate about the accuracy of those measurements, and that's really important, not only because it determines last stone draw, but in the case of a win-loss tie-break scenario, those draw shot distances are accumulated over the entire tournament, and that is the basis of breaking ties.
What can I do? Because I really felt mine was completely full in the 8 foot, and hers also. Yeah. And our one to the button was way closer. So.
Not entirely clear, and obviously some debate in the mind of Robert Desjardins. They thought they had the advantage in the pre-stone draw. Well, every day you come to the curling rink, you see something new, and this is a new one for me. But after some discussion, it is New Zealand that will have last stone advantage to start the game. Canada will play the red stones. New Zealand will play the yellow stones. 8 ends of curling in mixed doubles. Each team throws 5 stones. One player throws rocks 1 and 5. The other player throws stones 2, 3, and 4. Throwing rock number 1 for Canada, Émilie Desjardins. Trying to freeze her stone in front of the New Zealand stone in the back of the 4-foot circle. Robert Desjardins giving it a pretty hearty brush first up in the morning. Big sweep, gets the job done. Well played. Canada lies 1.
Pull it down?
Yeah. Try to get to the inside of it and tap it back a little bit.
Good look at the grip and now the overhead of the delivery of Jessica Smith.
Yeah.
Weights should be there. Just line.
Mentioned that Ben and Jess will be playing in the World Championships this year. It's an important competition. Obviously, a World Championships is an important competition, but it's doubly important because next year's World Championships will be also the first opportunity to gather Olympic qualification points. New Zealand looking to get an entry into the Beijing Olympics mixed doubles competition, as well as the men's and women's competitions, of course.
This should be close. Patient, la ligne. Patient, j'ai poussé un peu.
Donnez, c'est
La ligne est parfaite. Toi, le poids.
C'est line.
Robert likes the line.
Okay, well, that's good.
C'est line.
Dépasse notre rouge de... Dépasse notre rouge de 2 pouces.
Just make sure he gets by the red one in the top button.
Ah, no. Asti qu'elle oversweep.
Fraction heavy. Good shot. Canada line 2.
Hey, qui sait plus ce que tu penses un peu à faire.
New Zealand with the hammer, if you hear us talking about the hammer. That's the team with the last shot of the end. That's an advantage, the basic strategy of curling if you've never seen the sport before. If you've got last rock, you're trying to score 2 or more points. When you've got last rock, theoretically you should always score 1 because you get the last chance to shoot. When you don't have last rock, you're trying to prevent your opponent from scoring 2 or more points. Ben Smith trying to draw to the Canadian stone. Very nice stone by Ben Smith. You'll hear me refer to the button. That's where the silver fern is. That's the innermost circle. Right in the center of the button, there's a little hole drilled right in the center of those target rings. That's called the pin.
Peel. On devrait sortir les 2 jaunes.
You'll hear the players communicate constantly about the weight that they're intending to throw, and we could hear Robert say peel. That tells me he's going to throw a heavy takeout just to clear the front and open up the scoring area.
No.
Oh, he's actually making a play at the New Zealand stone in the rings, and a terrific shot by Desjardins. Removes the New Zealand shooter. He was always going to jam on the stones behind, but very nice stone there by Robert Desjardins.
Freeze that.
Do you like running the center guard?
Yeah.
That really turns the end around.
If I peel it, that's good too.
If it opens it up, that's fine.
Canada now, you can see that stone in the red 4-foot circle, perfectly protected by those front stones. Ben Smith.
Yep.
Trying to hold the line. This may be over curling a fraction. Gets contact on the front stone, but gets no action on the shot rock. Good stone. Canada still lying 1.
Ça va?
There's the brother and sister duo.
6. Il nous reste 2 roches?
Ouais.
Oh. Et toi, c'est laquelle tu tires? C'est 5-6, OK?
Ouais.
Parce que quelqu'un l'a remis dans le fond, là. Elle se posait être en haut, là. C'est ça que ça m'a mêlé. Je pensais que c'était à toi.
Just debating
Come around, top bouton.
which stones they're going to throw. The stones have numbers on them.
Que d'aller.
And Robert saying we're going to throw number 5 and 6.
T'avais combien sa dernière?
20, mais je suis pas sûre.
OK, je vais lancer pas trop fort. J'avais un gros release tantôt, ben, c'est ça.
Wants to draw another one around the center guard, ideally right in front of his own stone, but this one looks a little bit light. Emily Desjardins jumping it immediately. Good sweeping can carry a stone as many as 3 meters extra down the course of the 45-meter trip. And good brushing by Team Canada drags that stone full into the blue 12-foot circle. Nice shot.
Release, comment t'avais?
30. What about a connect back?
On va faire un test de chrono comme dans le
Back 4.
Ben Smith playing the out turn. Needs to skirt both of the front stones. He wants to tap the shot rock back about 3 feet. Working it hard. Encouragement shouted by his teammate. Is he by? Yes, he is. Terrific sweep by Ben Smith and a fantastic shot. Really nicely played.
One of us.
Pushes the Canadian stone, just realizing only one sweeper can sweep behind the tee line. Great shot. Gratifying as a player when you throw it and you're a little bit tight, you can jump up, sweep it yourself, and save your own shot. That's what Ben did on that one.
de moi entre 2,8 et 2,9. C'est bon? Fort que 2,8, ça va être trop fort, puis t'es au-dessus de 2,9, c'est trop léger. Donne-moi milieu du 8 avec 2,80, 2,85.
Okay.
Robert communicating the split time that he wants Emily to throw. Looks like she's going to throw the same type of weight that Ben Smith just threw. Heavy draw, back of the house weight, enough to push the New Zealand stone through the rings. This one's starting to move. Is she going to get by the guard? No, just Rex.
Okay, man, wrong pitch.
Yeah.
Good throw, says Robert.
Je sous-estime un peu la curve.
Come on to that.
Okay.
Début de game, ils vont snapper tout le temps.
Good chance now for the New Zealanders after the really nice come-around tap by Ben Smith, and
Ah, je sais, c'est dur.
Desjardins wrecking the guard. Jessica Smith now with the chance to cash in the pair.
Just throw what you like.
Nah, I like this.
You just got to be
Because I
full.
might tap it a little bit, it's fine.
Just got to be white.
Ben Smith telling his sister, just have to hit the white paint, Jess, and we get 2. Stone is on its way.
Six, gives a hand.
Ben Smith calling for some help. He's really working it. Has to get a piece of that white circle to count a second point. Jessica joins him now. How far can they drag it? Oh, nice job, Team New Zealand. Coast to coast sweeping gets it done, and that's a deuce for the Kiwis. Great start. Terrific play from the New Zealanders in the first end of the QRC Winter Games New Zealand Mixed Doubles Curling event presented by Forsyth Barr. It's New Zealand 2, Canada no score.
5-6.
Yeah, it was a bit softer than the first one.
Yeah.
Go try and force him here.
Really nice start for the New Zealanders.
Thank you.
That 2-point end really set up by that terrific little downweight tap from Ben Smith. A few shots before that, Robert had made a terrific upweight pick clear, and it looked like the advantage was going in the Canadians' favor, but
So they outturn.
then made that really nice downweight tap to set up the 2. And then Jessica, with the final stone and a bit of sweeping, cash in the pair. See, the athletes always turn the stone over and clean the running surface. Just make sure there's no debris.
Soft.
Keep the line. Wait only. Wait only.
Jessica's a
Oh,
nurse.
sorry, Jess.
That one just a little bit overcooked by her brother. Ben thought it was a bit soft and light, so he jumped on the sweep, but in the end he overswept it slightly. New Zealand lies 1.
Juste un freeze. Juste un freeze. Un peu moins que milieu 12. 3-10.
3.1, the split time that Robert Desjardins is communicating to Emily. Just wants her to freeze the stone, just delivered by Jessica Smith.
Steven. Yep, line.
Expecting, again, this stone is tracking out a little
That's
bit.
good. Excuse-moi, je pensais qu'elle collerait plus
Pushes
que
the
sec
Canadian
que ça,
stone
fait que
back, or the
je
New
pensais que
Zealand
je pouvais
stone
brosser
back,
pour venir
rather.
la taper douette. Elle collait pas assez pour ça.
Canada lies 1. Ben Smith can see about 3/4 of the Canadian stone, but he's just going to be playing another draw. Try to sit on top of that Canadian stone, maybe push it back
Right,
a
should be
foot.
close.
Where is that?
Top 4. Just cleaning. Top 2. Top 4.
Yep, yep.
Waiting for this stone to make the late finish. Now it's starting to go.
It's on the corner a little bit.
And Ben says maybe it caught something. It just really seemed to make a turn.
Nice weight.
New Zealand lies 1, right over the pin.
Too hard. Too hard.
Out on freeze sur celle qui vient de lancer.
gripper over her sliding shoe. For a little bit extra purchases. She sweeps this shot by Robert Desjardins.
0,5.
Comment?
0,5.
Okay. Yep, lines, gotta go. Okay, whoa! No, right off.
Back
Right
here.
off.
2,9. Back here.
Right off. Right off.
Pops his own stone deep, pushes it into fourth shot position. And once again, that out-turn side. Players anticipating the break and maybe anticipating it a bit too eagerly. That one just tracked a little bit straight, so New Zealand, their shot rock survives.
Left side.
A couple of options for the New Zealanders. They could corner freeze onto the top stone, or they could throw a guard stone. Ben Smith.
Touch tight.
It's a little different.
How's the weight?
Top 4.
Great communication from Ben Smith. When he let it go, it felt a little bit different than the
Top
first
2,
one.
top 4.
Whoa, no line.
Top 4, 2.
Nice.
2, 2,
Coming
2.
down that different track, maybe there's a small little bit of variation just down that path. It's caught both teams out. Nudges his own stone. But now this is a little bit dangerous for the New Zealanders. Canada with last rock. Canada's got a couple of options here. They can play on the in-turn side. Come into this area here. They could still play the out-turn side. Feather and roll across and set up a possible 3. So be interesting to see the choice that Robert Desjardins makes. I believe he's going to be playing on the in-turn side. Nope, proves me wrong. He's playing the out-turn.
Close, yeah! Come on, Ard!
Gonna be close to that center guard.
Come on, Arder!
Oh, great sweep by Emily. Catches it thin, goes across the top and spills. But Emily really saved that shot with her sweeping. So close to wrecking the center guard. You can see the frustration from Robert. New Zealanders absolutely will be playing on the in-turn side.
Just like in front of it, or are we taps okay?
Wait, tap's okay.
Okay.
Do you like that ice?
Yeah.
Making a play to the Canadian stone. It's okay if we bump it a fraction. We can also freeze to it.
Line's good.
I think it would be better if the New Zealanders could
Well,
actually
should be good,
move
just
it.
the line.
No line yet. No
Maybe
line
6
yet.
inches.
Whoa.
T-way. Back 2.
Line, yes. Oh.
No, did they catch it? Yes, they did. They just missed the sweep read, unfortunately. That shot was made, but they just got caught out on the line read, and you can see Jessica. She's apologizing to her brother. So much of the skill in the sport is being able to anticipate the break. The harder you throw it, the straighter it goes. As it decelerates, it starts to curl. That's why you'll hear the players continually yelling to each other how fast they think it's going. That's to help them anticipate this break. Robert Desjardins throwing peel weight, looking to blast the New Zealand stones off the 4-foot circle.
No. Watch les autres.
So watch the yellow rock. It jams. But now it's very, very dangerous for Team New Zealand. Look at the 3 Canadian stones. Only 1 New Zealand stone in the house. Canada with last rock. So Jessica Smith is going to have to be
You like rolling behind here?
very precise with this one.
Yeah.
What weight do you like?
Board?
Okay. I'll hold broom, yeah?
Yeah.
Heard the New Zealanders say throw board. That tells us that Jessica's going to throw a lightweight takeout shot at the Canadian stone. Throw a little bit less weight to give yourself a little bit more curl and a little bit more control of the roll after you make contact.
Close. Yep. Hard, Jess.
Good shot from Jessica Smith. New Zealand lies 2. Good read from Ben Smith as well.
It's tough.
The way the stones are staggered, I don't think the Canadians can try a double takeout. As Robert Desjardins looks at it.
It's tough.
It's tough, says Ben Smith. Emily Desjardins. New Zealand lying 2. There is a front stone protecting the yellow stone at the front of the forefoot.
Drop pour 1, Émilie. Pas le choix. Elle est trop bien cachée pour le double. Fait que je te dirais un peu plus que le milieu, que le coin du 12. À peu près là.
Là, faut-tu que genre, je touche pas la première.
Hein?
Celle-là qui est là, là?
Ouais. Ben, faut pas que tu y touches.
Ouais, c'est bon.
Si t'es fort, mais que tu passes à ça de l'autre en avant, tu vas faire ton point pareil. OK, mais fiche-toi pas sur le backing, là. Juste tirer ton drap.
Sounds to me like Canada's just going to try to play to the back stone in the back of the forefoot for a single point.
Ici, là.
310. So Robert Desjardins saying your target line is out there on the edge of the 12-foot circle, and here's your target area. Heavy draw, you can afford to use the backing.
La ligne, c'est le poids, c'est bon. Juste ce qu'il faut pour la ligne.
Ligne parfaite. Wow, ça
Ça
capote
bat!
dessus.
Ça bat!
Wow! Yeah!
Now it's starting to move. We saw the New Zealanders get caught with a stone that really moved on this path, and
Great shot, man.
Canadians got it just in time to hold the line. A single point. Very nice stone by Emily Desjardins. Drawing into the button area against 2 to save the single point. Terrific game we've got going on here at the QRC Winter Games. Mixed doubles curling presented by Forsyth Barr. New Zealand with a pair in the first, Canada scoring 1 in the second. After 2 ends of play, it is New Zealand 2, Canada 1.
Make sure we get our 1. That's the main thing. Go back to 2 up. And if, like, we're clearing things is okay, because getting our 1 is the main thing here.
Yeah.
Keeping an eye on the other games for you. Over on sheet B, it's Australia 1 versus New Zealand, and Australia with a 2-0 lead. On sheet D, Korea with a 3-0 lead over Finland. Korea have already clinched the 1 seed from this pool, and they're looking strong as we head for the playoffs. It's day 4 of the competition. If you've been with us all week, we've really been gratified by the feedback you've been giving us. We're glad you're enjoying the coverage. So we've had a chance to see these teams competing throughout the week, and I have to say Jess and Ben Smith are looking as comfortable as I've seen them right throughout the week. They're playing with purpose and focus. They're playing free and easy early in the game, but playing very well this morning. Robert and Emily, they've got a playoff spot on the line, and that can bring a different kind of pressure when you know it's all in your hands. If you can get the win, you carry on. So a little bit of pressure. If there's pressure on anybody this morning, it's on the Canadians. Good looking stone here from Emily Desjardins. Perfect.
Where is it? Where is
I
it?
think you go that
8 ends
side
of
and
play.
just try tap it through.
We're in the 3rd end.
Where's it sitting?
It's sitting like T-line. Well, just front T-line, like here.
So hit the high side.
Yeah, you got to just bump the outside of it.
Each team has 1 power play to use over the course of the game. Neither team have used their power play yet.
Yeah, weight should be close.
When one of the teams uses it,
Might
we'll
have to go
explain
a little.
that to you.
Go line it, go line it. It's gonna curl.
This one's tracking a
It's
bit
like
wide.
leg 2.
This one is actually going to slide past the stones on the center line and actually go deep into the back of the 8-foot
Sorry,
circle.
my bad.
New Zealand with the hammer, last rock advantage.
Might be able to tighten ourselves
Here
up.
in the 3rd.
Might be able to tighten ourselves up on that.
Option top 8. Le vert, c'est frisser en haute avec en ligne vers sa jaune à lui.
Ok.
Je pense que ça me prend 15.
Okay. Deux pieds.
Ligne est parfaite pour le freeze.
Robert says the line's perfect for a freeze.
Tu veux un aide?
Ouais.
À moi de la place.
He's actually going to over curl slightly.
Good spot.
Okay.
Well, Robert likes it.
Good spot.
And turn.
Yeah.
About the X.
Yeah.
Ben Smith going to throw some weight. Try to make it clear.
Yep.
Runs it back, rearranges things, opens up the 4-foot. Leaves New Zealand lying one at the back of the 8-foot. Nice shot. Center guards are still there for the Canadians to use, however.
Son shot.
Comme on round top bouton là, c'est important de dépasser notre rouge. C'est pas grave si on va back 4 cette fois-là.
Ok.
Comment? T'avais 15 sur l'autre? On va prendre un peu plus large, on va glisser une chatouille de plus probablement.
Desjardins is going to draw around again. Try to get behind the red stone in the rings.
Fais de la place, on va y aller à deux.
Ouais.
Good looking line. How's the weight?
Juste moi.
Just me, says Robert as he's trying to sweep for a bit of finish. Gets a piece of the button.
Avec quoi? 20?
Ouais.
Nice shot.
Let's do that same shot as last bend. Push it through, we roll.
If you're sitting at home and thinking curling's looking like a pretty sedentary
Yeah,
sport,
how much do you say?
I'd challenge you to come out and play a few games of mixed doubles.
About the X.
You're doing a lot of sweeping and your aerobic fitness has to be outstanding. Ben Smith. A groan as he came out of the hack. He didn't like his slide, and Sister Jessica calls for the sweep immediately.
Hard! Hard, yeah!
Can they hold it? Oh, they just feather the front. They still get a piece of the Canadian shot.
That was so close.
My goodness. Actually wrecked on the front redstone, but he caught it so thin.
Real tight.
He still got a piece of the target rock. Wow.
Oh, that was...
Scoring area still wide open for the Canadians. Front stones are up. Desjardins will doubtless try to draw another one behind that red, just as he did on the previous shot.
How to do this?
Well, now he's talking about throwing back lines, so perhaps he's going to make a play on the New Zealand stone in the back ring to lie 3.
Yeah, that's nice.
Well, clean only. Yep. Really gotta go like surprise. Oh boy. Come on, me.
Oh boy, says Robert, this one's over curling.
Oh. Yep, too low, too low, too low, too low.
Oh boy, what a great sweep by Emily Desjardins. They just get a piece of the New Zealand stone. They spill into the back 12-foot. And I think they've left New Zealand lying shot.
Ouais, mais t'avais combien là-dessus?
Robert can't believe it.
2,9,5.
That amount of curl really surprised him.
J'avais entendu 2,9,5.
think this
C'est
side?
ça avec quoi pour moi?
Yeah.
What about here? If I'm half buried, they can't.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
I like
Even
that
if I'm
thought
only
too,
a
Ben.
piece.
By coming around the outturn side, you show your opponent the side of the rock that you'd like them to hit if they make a play on it. By coming into this area, if the Canadians hit the outside of the rock, they would drive the New Zealand stone onto backing. So a better chance of scoring 2 or 3 rather than coming around the other way. So good shot choice here by the New Zealanders.
line. Top 2.
Whoa.
Really don't want this one to slide past
Top
the
two.
tee line, and there's really
All about the
no
curl.
line yet to bury. Now they might
It's
thinking
too heavy,
about
sorry.
switching gears and freezing their own backstone.
It's got to sit front tee. Sorry.
Now it comes right on the tee
bit
line,
hard.
but no cover, so there is a chance now for the Canadians to perhaps double them off, but I imagine the Canadians would prefer to get the inside roll and get behind the center guard. Let's see what they play. It's their final stone of the end, Emily Desjardins in the hack, ready to play it. Her father Robert,
OK, tu vas me tirer.
she can see almost all of that target rock, but not quite.
Avec 2-9.
OK.
On va aller essayer d'aller chercher l'intérieur de la jaune puis de rouler. Call quand même safe. Si tu passes proche du garde, on clip la roue. Faut que tu passes à ça de sa pierre jaune. OK?
So Robert saying
2-9, point du 8.
plan A, hit the inside of the
Faut aller
stone,
tranquillement.
get a little inside roll.
Let's make it good.
But plan B, be safe, don't wreck the guard. Make sure you get contact on the center stone, and maybe we can make a double takeout if we don't get the inside roll.
On a plus simple, on est fond maison.
Whoa. 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 Whoa.
Whoa, 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 says Emily.
No.
That tells us that
No.
the line is a bit wide.
No.
No motion yet. Does she have contact at all? Just feathers the New Zealand stone. It does jam, just as Ben Smith indicated, and now
Side or this
I
side?
like this side.
Okay.
Because if I tap back, that's how it got into the air. So.
Yeah. I like
chance
that
for
side.
the New Zealanders to score 3. Jessica Smith, just as in the first end, she had to draw the 8-foot to score 2, and now similar situation.
Let's chuck a gripper on.
Draw the 8-foot again to score 3. The nuisance stone is that red
full
stone
wide.
just
You got it.
behind the center guard. That's impeding the path into the scoring area. So they'll take a little bit extra ice just to make sure that they
This line. Wait
stay
till you
well
go.
away from that.
All right. Yes!
Well, this stone making a move already.
Now leave it to crash
Be careful about the line, New Zealand.
It's got to hit the front one.
Oh no, that's what's going to happen. Are they going to tap the Canadians up and get one of their own stones out? I think they got away with it. Looks like a pair. We'll just wait for the confirmation. Mo, I'm not so sure now. I think it's only one. Disaster.
Just a single, I guess, eh? It's pretty close, I think it's one. Yeah, this one's closer to half and half. That's one for sure, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you want to have a look, Jess? I'm not real sure.
Oh dear. Yeah, they just didn't love the shot choice on that final stone.
it's one.
Would have preferred to see them play the outturn side.
I was just trying to let it stop short. I was never going to get it round, I don't think.
Well, they are going to ask the officials to measure it. By looking at it by the eye, however, it looks pretty clear cut that the Canadian stone is closer. That's why we have these measuring devices to tell us for sure.
You just have plenty of ice.
I like this one.
Yes, mister.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was already bright.
What a
I
turnaround.
was hard on it the whole way. I don't know, I might have
From a potential 5-1 lead, maybe now it's only going to be a 3-1 lead. Some reflection of the silver fern. Measure one stone, we bring it over to the other. The official will tell us.
It's closer than I thought, though. Closer than I thought.
Canadian stone is closer, but Robert said, yeah, it was closer than I thought. So it is only a single point for the New Zealanders. So a chance for 3 goes begging. Wind up only scoring a single point. So after 3 ends of play at the QRC Winter Games Mixed Doubles Curling presented by Forsyth Barr, New Zealand with a 3-1 lead over Canada. Uncharacteristic from Jessica Smith. There's always the danger when you're drawing into that scoring area. I said before Jess threw the shot that the red stone was the nuisance stone, and Boy, what a nuisance it was.
Your play out turn.
Canada will have last rock here in the fourth. That'll take us to the midpoint of this 8 end game. If the scores are tied after 8, we will go to an extra end. Canada fighting for their playoff lives here this morning. They've come into this game with a 2-win, 2-loss record. If they can come back and win this game, they would advance into the playoff round.
Gotta go.
Jess Smith and Ben Smith cannot make the playoffs even with a victory, but they would love to finish their round robin with a win over this Canadian team. 3 New Zealand teams competing in this competition this year. One of the New Zealand teams have qualified for the playoffs. That's New Zealand 2, featuring Anton Hood and Holly Thompson. You get the feeling that this is going to be a very pivotal end in this game. Canada trailing by 2, but they're going to feel like they got away with something in the last end. Good teams punish mistakes, so the Canadians will be looking to capitalize and crank up the pressure on this New Zealand team. Canada lies 2, perfectly guarded.
Ben, si vous voulez être sûr de ne pas l'échapper trop fort.
Oh, you want to come around
Je
this
mets mieux la
way?
mettre là, qu'elle la mette sur le bouton puis qu'il freeze.
Just switch over.
This is the dangerous
I like
time for
that
New
side.
Zealand. Your opponent's got last rock. They've got shots in great spots.
Yeah, just give me a bit more ice.
You're tempted to come into the rings, play the freezes, but this is where the half-shot execution can really punish you if you're not perfect. Try the freeze. If you don't make the freeze perfect, your opponent hits an inside roll. They're looking at 3, and you're trying a desperation freeze to get out of the end, and this is how 3s and 4s happen. Oh, just by that front stone. Really casual. They were just watching it finish, nearly wrecked.
Line was tight.
Line was tight, sure was, Ben. Just got by that stone. Good shot. Pushes the Canadian stone back out of the 4-foot. And importantly, the angles are good for New Zealand now. If the Canadians make a play on the New Zealand rock, they'll drive it onto their own. And you can see the New Zealand shot rock.
10 devrait être pas plus proche. 10 à 15.
Desjardins going to try and draw to the button. Sit in front of the stone that Ben just threw.
On the way, freeze.
Patient, c'est large, ça colle pas encore. Peut pas être pesant. Mordeuse 4, ça fait. Mordeuse 4, ça fait.
Wide line.
Switch! Trop large. Mordeuse 4 seulement.
Freeze.
Saw Ben's
Look
rock really move at the end. Now this stone is curling.
Come on, get in there.
Good looking shot here from Desjardins.
Make it shot, come on!
Fantastic stone from Robert Desjardins.
Good job.
Perfect.
Just tap that. Separate it away bit.
Are they sharp?
That's sharp. But it's locked right on. It's frozen.
Okay. So same? Same weight?
Yeah.
Ben Smith.
Just
A
stay
little
with
heavier.
it.
It's gonna have to brake pretty hard this time.
It's up. Way up.
This one's tracking wide, and this one is going to go by everything. Oh boy. Oh boy.
On va essayer 1-6. Juste aller reculer à la zone de quelques pieds.
They are lined up perfectly for the Canadians. Great look at it here. I think Robert is saying, if we hit that top yellow stone, front 12 foot, yellow, onto red, onto red, onto yellow. They could leave themselves lying 3.
Hack weight.
Well, just hack weight, so he's probably not going to try that shot. He's only going to move stones around if he plays hack weight. He'd have to move 4 stones to push the kiwi rock out of the back 4-foot. But the angles are great. Any contact on the stone on the button will push the New Zealand stone to the back of the house and leave the Canadians lying multiple points. Well, he is going to be trying that tap.
The rip.
Got to get by that front center guard, though.
Whoa, let's go.
It is over curling. He does crash the center guard, so he calls Emily off just to clear the front. Now they have a couple of options. But that wasn't what he was looking for.
We're just going to put it back.
Oh, boy, oh, boy.
That's looking very lonely there. What else? Do you want to try that again?
What about trying to push that off and sit there?
Yeah?
I like that play
Wait,
too,
like
Ben.
Hack?
Board?
They're all risky plays now.
Hack.
But the way things are lined up, if you don't deal with at least one of the Canadian stones now, you run the risk of dropping 4. They were briefly talking about drawing a stone into the 4-foot area, but if you ever sit it out there, then the Canadians could just go red, red, yellow.
I think I like a fraction more.
So I think what Ben's wanting to play is playing onto the Canadian stone here in the front, pushing it through, leaving his own stone sitting around there. That would cut the Canadians down and reduce the risk of dropping a 3 or a 4.
Yep. Yes!
Got to get by that front stone, though. Oh, it's going to be close to wrecking. Yes, it does wreck. Oh, no, this is real trouble now for the New Zealanders. Now the Canadians have an open play on that stone right where the brush is, and it's almost automatic. Any contact on that stone in the front 8-foot will leave the Canadians lying at least 3, maybe 4, and probably all in a line.
Remarque, je vois j'ai vu ce qu'elle a fait là.
Hein?
Même moi, je viens de lancer. J'ai vu ce qu'elle a fait. 2-7.
Onto the nose, straight back, push the New Zealand stone through.
2-6.
No.
2-6.
No. No. Close. Yeah! Harder, man! Supply! Gotta go harder!
Good looking shot. 1, 2, 3 stones in motion, and Canada lies 4.
You want to play like, what do you want to play?
Like, hit right at it. Control?
Which hit way?
Control?
Are you going for the double?
Yeah.
So things looking a little bit sketchy for the New Zealanders, but there is one get out of jail card for Jessica Smith.
Do you want me to sweep?
I'll sweep it.
She can see the inside of that red stone right beside the brush that Ben Smith is going to put down. She's going to try to hit the inside of this stone on the edge of the 4-foot.
Just get one, that's fine.
Jump inside, either get a roll or get the jump and push the other Canadian stone out the side door, leaving themselves behind cover.
Whoa, close. Whoa, never. Whoa, close. Whoa.
Willing it to curl. They need the inside roll. They get the inside roll. That's a pretty good shot from Jessica Smith. Canada lies 1.
I like that.
But it is a lot better looking than it was about 15 seconds ago. There is still a shot 4-3 for the Canadians.
No, that was that was right, because by giving you more, you did that instead of.
Chuck it the front one and then they're still, you know, draw it.
Il y a le double ici pour 4. Quand même tough un peu. OK, celle-là.
Ouais.
Tu mets un balai, tu brosses ou bien...
Ouais, je vais brosser.
Tu veux que je vienne brosser? Tu brosses?
Je vais brosser.
C'est normal, par exemple, ça prend. Là.
Ouais, vite.
The raised takeout is still there, red onto yellow. the good news for the New Zealanders in terms of the raise take-out as we look at it, hitting the red straight back into the yellow could drive the yellow out, but this stone here would outcount the stone delivered, which would mean that the Canadians would get a maximum of 2. So I don't think there's a shot for 3 here, but there is a shot for 2.
Entre le coin du bouton puis sa pierre jaune, à l'extérieur de sa pierre jaune là, qui est sur le bouton.
OK.
Ça va?
Ouais.
Normal. Tu vises le nez. Un petit
Le
peu.
point du bouton, c'est le milieu du bouton.
Ouais. Tu vises un pouce plus large que l'extérieur de sa pierre jaune.
OK.
Just discussing the exact contact point that they want on the front stone.
Un peu ce
Tu
bord.
peux viser un peu de ce côté-là. Ou le nez.
Tiny
Tu peux
bit off
viser
the
l'extérieur de
nose
sa
as
pierre
well.
jaune
there.
avec normal, ça va faire normalement. Let's go, bien fait.
Yep. Oh. Yep. Yeah! Whoa. Yeah. Whoa.
Oh, it's close. Oh, nice stone there from Émilie Desjardins. But we see that the New Zealand stone, I believe, is outcounting the Canadian rock. I think it's only a pair.
2 reds.
2 red. It is confirmation of a 2 for Canada. Nice shot from Émilie Desjardins, but a real saving shot from Jessica Smith, the stone before. Cuts down the potential damage at the QRC Winter Games New Zealand mixed doubles curling event presented by Forsyth Barr. At the midpoint of the game, we are all tied up at 3. That gives us an opportunity to update you with the scores of the other games going on in our final round-robin game here at the QRC Winter Games New Zealand. Over on Sheet B, it is Australia 1, holding a 3-1 lead over New Zealand 3, Courtney Smith and Hamish Walker. And over on Sheet D, top seed Korea enjoying a 3-2 lead over Finland. Coming up this afternoon, you do not want to miss this one. We're into the playoff phase at the QRC Winter Games New Zealand Mixed Doubles Curling Tournament. 3 p.m. this afternoon, it will be Australia 1 taking on New Zealand 2. Australia's Dean Hewitt, Tally Gill taking on Anton Hood and Holly Thompson representing New Zealand. At the midpoint, teams get a chance to consult with their coaches and take on some energy, and there's national coach Peter de Boer speaking with Ben and Jessica Smith, and that gives us a chance to sneak a peek at some of the other action. Here is the Finland-Korea game, and here is Esther Juhas. Korea leading this one by a score of 3-2. Close game. Korea already qualified as the top seed. And there is Markku Uusipaavalniemi, the Olympic silver medalist from the Torino 2006 Winter Olympics in the men's curling discipline. They're facing Team Korea. Esther looks a fraction heavy with that freeze attempt, but Finnish stones surrounding that Korean stone on the button. Korea with last rock advantage here in the 5th end, but Finland probably pretty happy to force them to one. Hei Ji-jang and Yoo-jin Seong, Team Korea. Hei-ji represented Korea in the mixed doubles event at the recent Pyeongchang Winter Olympics. Host nation, they placed 6th. Played with a different teammate at the Olympics. Performance levels in Korean curling as a consequence of preparation for those Pyeongchang Winter Games has really gone next level. The Korean women's national team were silver medalists at Pyeongchang. The men's team didn't medal, but performed creditably. This team, or Hei-ji at least, and her teammate performed well. So, in the Pacific Asia region, China has had some recent dominance. Japanese teams have always been strong. New Zealand, Australia have been competitive, but Korean curling has really stepped it up over the last 5 years.
and they are an absolute threat. Not only do they have talented players, but they actually have competitive depth. Probably 4 different women's teams playing out of Korea that would be in the world top 25. Dean Hewitt. Speaking of emerging power in mixed doubles curling in the world, this Australian team made the semi-finals at last year's World Mixed Doubles Curling Championship. Tali Gill and Dean Hewitt. That was the best ever placing for an Australian team at that event. They've already qualified as the Australian representatives for next year's World Championships, so bit of a preview. Ben and Jessica will be facing Dean and Tali in Kamloops, or Kelowna rather, I'm sorry, the venue for the next year's Worlds. So 4 ends in the books in our feature game. We are deadlocked at 4 after that really nice raise takeout from Emily Desjardins. Canada fighting for their playoff lives this morning. They need a victory to grab that 3rd and final playoff slot out of Pool A. Good look at the grip and release. Emily Desjardins.
Sorry.
Well, this stone is tracking quite wide.
Vas-y, mets ta fois curler.
Starting to make a move, but she's not going to get a perfect freeze. She may corner freeze.
Je
Good
t'avais à
weight.
10, mais 0 release. 0, c'était vraiment smooth, smooth, smooth. Mais c'est vraiment le mouton. Sugar n'est pas venu jusqu'au centre.
It's
Fait
sitting
qu'après le
just
mouton, on
back
dirait que la
T.
glace, ça change.
So if you can,
Two's fine.
front 2's good. Front 4's all right, I'll get you there.
Current national champions in mixed doubles for Team New Zealand. Jessica Smith, Ben Smith. Jess Smith delivers.
Line's okay. No line.
Top 4.
Got a curl. Whoa.
Wants to overlap the Canadian stone.
Okay.
Just finishes at the end. Important to sit in front of instead of on an angle. This way now, if the yellow goes on to red, the red will go past the yellow stone behind it. Emily Desjardins comes down to play the sweeping role for her teammate and father, Robert Desjardins.
Games. On doit être là.
Top bouton. Pense à y en vrai. Pas de la place, ça pas de glace.
There's a pocket there for the Canadians to wedge a stone into. They want to just drill it right on top of the silver fern in the button area.
Just one, just one. Sit, just là, just là.
Super shot.
Good job, Emily.
Super shot by Robert Desjardins.
Tap a little.
Now they control that pin area, the exact center of the target rings.
Okay.
Back to weight.
Ben Smith. Jessica Say back T weight. So it's not going to be just a freeze, but she's actually asking Ben just to push the stones around a bit. Open up a little bit of a gap between the stones.
Weight's good.
Close.
Back 4.
Whoa. Close. Yes! Yes!
Pushes the Canadian stone to the back of the button, creating a pocket. Importantly for the New Zealanders now, there are stones in front of that T line, the black line that goes left to right through the circles. That means if they push their stones forward, they get closer to the target line. And they would also sit their stones in front of those red Canadian stones behind the tee line. So good spot for the New Zealanders, but still a pocket for Desjardins to draw into.
Ça a l'air bon.
Wow. Yep.
Ça tape un peu.
Wow. Juste
Ouais,
le
parfait.
bas,
Faut pas qu'elle touche la jaune, absolument pas. Là.
Quoi?
Surtout de pas qu'il la jaune. On est correct? Oh, je pense.
Fraction heavy. Good shot, but a fraction heavy.
Yike.
Yikes, says Robert Desjardins.
Yike.
Yeah.
He knows that he's left the New Zealanders a couple of options here. They can come into the
Back
center
to it,
area,
yeah.
they can tap their own stone.
Gonna tighten me up.
I think this is going to be the play.
If we lick that guard, it's not too bad.
Coming in on the intern side, just get a little inside roll into this button area. That would leave New Zealand in good shape.
Line's good.
Soft release. I think I gotta go a little for weight.
They are going to flirt with the stone in the front forefoot. Can Ben Smith hold the line? No, it's going to overcurl. It does clip the stone in the front forefoot, sits in front of the Canadian stone, a real cluster of rocks, but the Canadians are lying too.
Il est encore un 2, mais on s...
Que lui, il a cette double
Two stones each to come in this fifth end.
Par là, il peut pas tomber ça tout de suite, par exemple.
On garde.
Son garde, il fait quoi? Il tire une bombe là.
Canadians discussing a guard.
On n'a pas le choix de
They
garder ce
could
bord.
make a play on the stones
Jamais que
in the
je viens là,
forefoot,
s'il
but
fait
they're
ça,
all
on est mort.
belonging to the
Faut se garder
opponent.
ce bord-là, on fait une prière. Je vais la prendre.
C'était avec quelle zone?
Each of those yellow stones belong to New Zealand. Two of them can be promoted into scoring position. Canadians can't guard them both, but they are going to try to guard the outturn path. Try to set the stone up in this area.
Zone 2, 2,5.
Clean.
Faut-tu qu'elle revienne ou elle est correcte?
Non, elle est
C'est ce
parfaite.
bord-là qu'il faut bloquer.
Ça arrête.
The stone might be over curling. New Zealanders still might be able to go around that one and make the tap. Not bad, but New Zealand's got a couple of options here.
It's a nice guard.
Jessica Smith sizing it up.
The risk with doing it this way is that could go straight back. The risk with doing it that way is this would come off and go straight back.
Well, the New Zealanders looking at running the
Kinda
front
like
stones
this one
back.
better.
I'm not sure that's actually necessary.
Do you like this one better? Because
Yeah.
even if this actually went back and did that,
Yeah.
I want to catch not much of it, so peel.
Right there?
Yeah.
New Zealand saying, okay, if we clear the front completely, we give ourselves multiple options on the final shot because we know that the Canadians can't guard everything. All of our stones are sitting in front of Canadian stones in the forefoot, so let's make a play on the front stones now, try to clear them both off, completely open the path for the final stone, and give ourselves a play on the last one. Athletically, Ben Smith leaps up to sweep, gets a little bit of action as well. Look at that, terrific shot. Clears the front, gets some action. Now there's 3 New Zealand stones sitting threateningly in front of that solo Canadian rock on the button, and Canada is in a jam.
What happened, like I said.
Yeah.
Great shot, Ben Smith. Now Canada.
Faut garder le bord-là de la 5, on n'a pas le choix.
Got a guard.
Faut finir de ce bord-là ici.
Gotta put it right there,
C'est le
says
même
Robert.
lancé que moi. Tu glisses là, tu la chiffres un petit peu ici, avec 3,20.
It's a great result there for the New Zealanders by clearing both front stones. Even if Emily makes this stone perfectly, the New Zealanders will still have a shot for a possible 2.
C'est un peu fort.
La ligne est parfaite.
3,
Reste avec.
3,
Clean.
Trois.
Just light clean. Clean
3.
it. Go, laisse mourir.
Stone has a lot of moving to
Descends.
do to be a good
Descends,
guard.
descends, descends. Switch, switch.
Sweeping it now to try and get maximum curl.
Gotta go on. Good shot.
Yeah, got the job done. It really did curl hard at the end. Now, Ben and Jess eyeing it up. Can they get to that center stone? That's the one they'd like to play.
No.
Do you think you can come this way? Get to there, tap it?
I reckon we're going to try.
Yeah, well, that's, yeah. What weight do you like?
Do you like board or hack?
I like hack.
Yeah.
You don't even have to be that heavy if you don't want. You can throw like, you can throw back 4, but.
Well, you have to move the stone, though.
Yeah.
Do you want me to sweep?
I'll sweep it.
Okay.
Wants to hit the inside of the center rock.
So what
Push it
weight do
back.
you like? And
I like hack.
Clip the Canadian
Hack?
stone.
Yeah.
do you like it here?
Yeah.
Jessica Smith.
Brilliant.
Hold up. If I give you a little more and you just do this, like, it's not too bad.
Okay.
So,
Chance for 3.
yeah.
Has to get by the center guard.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Has to get by the center guard.
Hard jab.
By the center guard. Well, now it's really making a move. Jess Smith trying to hold the line. No, it's over curling and she wrecks.
Yeah.
Oh, they liked it out of hand, but after all of that, the Canadians steal the point. 4-point turnaround.
One red.
Down weight.
I thought it was
That's why I was a little bit cautious about throwing quiet weight, but hindsight is always as perfect. The Canadians steal the point after 5 ends of play at the QRC Winter Games New Zealand Mixed Doubles Curling event presented by Forsyth Barr. Canada, for the first time in the game, get their nose in front. They are leading it by a score of 4-3. Now we enter the phase of the game in this 8-end contest. You start to think about, when do you use your power play? The team with last rock has the option to set the stones in the power play formation at the beginning of the end. It's a bit more of an attacking posture. New Zealand with last rock, they're keeping the power play in their pocket for now. This is the standard setup.
Inter, milieu 12.
My goodness, what a turnaround. What a huge opportunity for the New Zealanders. Even though Jess Smith, she threw that well, she had lots of weight halfway down. They didn't seem concerned, but the stone really took off and wrecked,
Inter.
giving the Canadians the steal.
Milieu du 12. Moi, un peu plus que milieu 12.
So now the momentum slightly in the favor of the Canadians.
Okay.
Close game though, 1 point in it. New Zealanders with the hammer, anybody's game.
Bon peut-être, bon switch, switch. Juste besoin les larges.
Lovely first up free stone by Emily Desjardins.
Nice shooting, Emily.
6th end of play. Canada 4, New Zealand 3.
It's just front tee. Which side do you like to try and tap it?
Does the intern will over curl too much?
I don't know. It's up to you. You like the intern?
Try.
They could get at this target stone either way.
If I get the guard, that's fine.
So debating which turn they want to play.
It's pretty close.
Jessica
T-line, back 2.
electing the intern.
Back 2.
Ah.
Oosh.
This one is tracking straight and it goes through. It's heavy.
Trop de rotation, ça risque de trop glisser.
Canada looking to stack another one on top of their own shot. This one also tracking a bit straight, though.
No way. Come on, be kind.
Robert pleading with the granite. Will it listen?
Curl up, curl up.
Well, yes, it did.
On est tight dans le temps, m'en tirer une coupe de vite de même.
Shit.
Sometimes it pays to talk to the rocks. Sometimes they listen.
Yeah, I still like that side, eh?
Yep. Yeah.
That crashes front. Desjardins immediately out of the hack. They've got some time clock pressure, so they're playing extremely quickly.
Ça ressemble à 3.
Stone already in motion.
Ça ressemble à t'es dans la maison?
Alex, c'est-tu bon?
Ouais. Pas tant.
Ça ressemble à 4. Non, 3.
Just enough to cover the hole, I think. Don't know that New Zealand can squeak through that really narrow port.
Is there a hole there?
That's the question.
If you keep the guard either way, that's fine.
What handle am I playing?
I don't think there's a hole there. Prove me wrong, Ben Smith.
What weight?
Heel.
We're just say it doesn't really matter as long as we clear guards if we don't get through the hole.
Yeah.
Same shot, curle un peu plus, cacher le trou.
Momentum is a funny thing in sport. You can't really point at it, but you can feel it. And the momentum has absolutely swung in favor of the Canadians right now.
And if I was trying to come through the port, yeah, probably would have come on the intern.
Les belles?
Playing with a confident air.
Non, non.
Non, OK.
They can sense that they're gaining the upper hand.
C'est 3.
Be important for Ben and Jessica now to dig deep.
Non, non.
Very much in this game. This is where you need to grind it out.
Elle va être comme de quoi en dessous quand elle est glissée. Fait que
Ouais, j'ai vu ça.
Ça va faire rajouter du weight un peu.
Going to run that straight back.
Hi, yeah.
I want to hit slightly low side of nose, eh? Am I peeling it?
What?
The Reds are going to jam the
I
bag.
think I need less ice.
Ben says, I'd like to hit a little bit low side of nose. That's a little bit on the inside of the rock. Just trying to rearrange things and get rid of a couple of Canadian stones. Well, he doesn't look happy. Just going to catch it thin. No action on the shooters. Canada still lying 2. New Zealand with last rock, but see how those stones are frozen and angled on the New Zealand stone in the back of the forefoot.
Ouais, ils ont rien touché.
That means it's
L'important, c'est juste que tu la mettes vis-à-vis.
impossible for the New Zealanders to hit the red stones without jamming on their own.
Fait que tu vas me tirer ça ici, avec 25.
Ouais.
It's a situation where if the Canadians didn't even throw this shot, they would almost certainly steal
20,
one.
25. Un peu pesant. Tant que la ligne est bonne, ça va.
Yep. Faudrait que ça meure.
Va être parfaite, même.
So I think the play for the New Zealanders is damage control, try to draw the edge of the button, cut them down to 1. You see just patting the ice, that's what they're playing.
Rien de ce côté-là. C'était pas grave que tu montes une partie du côté gauche, elle peut pas. Quand même qu'elle frappe de ce bord-là, c'est rien que ça. On regardera par l'autre bord. J'aurais pu tirer dans la bande.
Really remote chance that the New Zealanders could score a point here, but what they're really trying to do is cut the Canadians down to a single point. They'd be really happy if they could do that. Then they'd go to the 7th end. They'd probably use their power play 1 down, or 2 down rather. Tough shot here though for Jessica Smith.
Yeah! Yeah!
First job is to get by the front stone. Oh, Ben Smith coming off of this one is over curling. It will be a steal of 2 to the Canadians. 2 red is confirmed. Canada now with all of the momentum after 6 ends in the books of this 8-end game at the QRC Winter Games New Zealand mixed doubles curling event presented to you by Forsyth Barr. It is Canada 6 and New Zealand 3.
We'll take the power play.
Oh, yeah.
On
Which side?
this side.
Okay.
Outstanding shot you made in the fort, by the way.
Pardon?
That perfect roll you made in the fort was just crazy. Whoop, freezing. Oh my. Okay. Okay.
Robert giving Jess a compliment for her hit and roll in the 4th end.
The red this way.
New Zealand now are going to use their power play.
Red this way.
The stones are being set in the corner guard position. Robert just confirming the alignment.
Good.
So the yellow stone belonging to New Zealand is now going in front of the tee line, squarely behind a corner guard.
C'est fort, 2,80. 2,9.
The idea behind the power play, if you execute well with the last rock, this alignment increases your chances of scoring 2 or more. Defending the power play, we saw yesterday, we actually interviewed Robert and Emily. We talked about this situation. How do you defend against the power play? And they say, this year we made the decision every time to try to tick the front guard and move it out of position. Remember, she cannot remove it completely from play, otherwise it comes back. But they're just trying to reposition their own guard stone, take away the protection for the New Zealanders.
Super mal collé.
Will it go out of play? Will it stay in play? It stays in play.
Tu sais, les autres glaces, ça faisait bien douette, là. Puis là, elle a poigné sa curve bien comme il faut.
That's exactly what the Canadians wanted.
Super beau pitch.
Now it
It's opened it up a little bit.
opens up the New Zealand stone, but the corner guard is still there. New Zealanders could still use it. Jessica Smith. She will, in fact, draw around that guard.
Yep.
See, even though the Canadians move the guard, they still have some protection, the New Zealanders. So this is a guard that they can use again. Ben Smith trying to drag it up into the rings. Going to come up just short. Does offer much better protection, though, for the New Zealand shot rock. So, decision. Canada. How frisky do you feel?
C'est de la cacher derrière sa jaune. À la limite, elle peut aller jusqu'à 6 lines, c'est pas grave. Tant qu'on la cache derrière sa jaune. On n'a pas joué gros dans le centre, mais d'habitude, elle n'est pas beaucoup plus slow ici. J'aurais le goût d'essayer 10
By frisky, I'm saying if you go around those guards, you're playing with fire. But if you make it, you can turn the end around. Looks like Robert is feeling a little frisky.
T-line.
Ligne est parfaite. T-line même. Switch. Switch.
Trying to neutralize the New Zealand shot by going around the guards themselves and now counting them.
Come on, faut qu'elle cache.
Well, not perfect line now, so now they're trying to sweep it deep so that the New Zealanders cannot freeze or use it. Well, sits on the tee line, so chance for the New Zealanders to make a play, push it back, get a little outside roll.
Sit on it.
Well, they could freeze. That one is a little bit behind cover, so maybe a bit more difficult to play weight at it and play for the inside roll. So Jessica Smith saying, well, let's freeze to it. Good look at it there. Redstone half buried behind that yellow guard. Ben Smith is going to try and draw around it. Ben says, I'd like to try and tap.
If I get it on the inside of the nose, I'll be buried behind the guards.
Well, that's absolutely right, Ben. The question is, can you get by the guard with tap weight and have it curl enough to get that inside roll? Important shot here.
Yeah.
This could set up a 3 if Ben Smith can get that inside roll. This one's tracking a bit straight. Not going to get the inside roll. He's got contact. Only going to get a thin piece. Is he going to stick around? Well, yes, he does. That's not a bad plan B. Leaves New Zealand lying 2 with decent separation between the stones. Sorry. Now the Canadians can't really go around that corner guard because that red stone, or the yellow stone at the back of the 4-foot circle, they would be out-counted. So an interesting choice now for the Canadians. Hit the shot rock. If you do that, you're basically conceding 2 to the New Zealanders. And that looks like what Robert is choosing to do.
Okay, whoa. Yep.
Don't want to jam the back. They get some action, but no problem. The Canadians line 1.
Do you think we got to ignore it?
Here's the tactical choice for the New Zealanders. If you're trying to score 3, you go around the guard, you ignore the shot rock.
Yeah.
That's if you're trying to score 3, you go there. If you're content with scoring 2, go ahead and hit the red rock. Lie 2, trade shots, get 2. But if you're trying to score 3, the play is to ignore the shot rock, come around the guard again, hope that the Canadians give you a double takeout, and that's maybe how you get your 3. In this situation,
Close.
I like this call.
Whoa.
T-line.
Whoa.
Top 4.
Line's looking really nice. I need to finish it.
Yeah, Ben Smith needs to stay with it. They need some protection behind that corner guard. Want to sweep it hard at the end to get maximum curl. Sits in there. Not a bad angle. If the Canadians make a play at it, there is a risk of a jam, then could save the New Zealand shot. Canada lies 1. New Zealand lying 2nd and 3rd shot, and importantly and crucially, they have the last shot in this end. Key shot coming up for Emily Desjardins. Actually, still 2 stones to play, so it's Robert's going to throw this one. Playing the hit.
Yep. Whoa.
Thinks there's a chance to make a double takeout, remove both New Zealand stones.
Hard.
Only gets 1.
Come on.
I think Robert thought he had it made.
I feel like we got to push hard for 3, so I still like this.
Okay. I do too, Ben.
Tighten me up a smidge.
Yep, that's the play. Ignore the shot rock again. Go around that corner guard. Hopefully get a little bit better cover than you did last time. Try to set up your 3. Ideal position directly behind the yellow stone in front of the rings.
I did throw the last one a little positive and maybe a little outside, so just keep me close.
Yeah, doesn't need to adjust too much. His weight was perfect with the last stone. You want to be careful about tightening up the ice and dropping the weight. All of a sudden you're wrecking on the guard.
Close. Where is it?
Heavy.
Oh no. Ben has stepped the weight up on this stone. It's running freely. They do need to stay in the rings. Oh no, this one is going to be heavy, deep, and probably through. Oh, that's a huge mistake. A real let-off for the Canadians now. All they need to do is throw a second shot into the rings and they'll force the New Zealanders to take a single point. That would suit them down to the ground.
Out turn. What's this?
What?
Ben Smith looking at the scoreboard. He knows what the situation is. Trailing by 3. They need at least to pair this end, but it's looking much less likely.
Alors, excellent.
Oui, Ben. Ça commence à curler beaucoup.
OK. Elle
Ça
a
commence
facile.
à curler. Méfie-toi.
Oh, boy.
Important that Emily gets a little bit of cover, otherwise she might leave Jessica Smith a double takeout. And have they even got it in there to second shot position? No, it's short, so it's an open hit for 2. That's a mistake by the Canadians.
Ouais, tu sûr?
What do you think?
Back or board?
Pas de ta faute.
I don't mind board.
Faites 8 pieds plus slow à ce spot-là.
Ben and Jessica discussing the weight they want to throw. Hack weight or board
Sorry
weight.
about that.
Sorry about that, says Robert. As the sweeper, he was in charge of the distance and is apologizing to Emily for not getting into the second shot
You
position.
like the size for board?
Go, t'as essayé ma curve
Yeah.
comme la main.
This is a must make for Jessica. Chance to score 2. They would be 1 down coming home without last rock.
Close. Close.
Want to keep a brush on the ice in this
Clean.
situation, keep
Whoa.
it clean.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
The stone's got a bit of curling to do.
Whoa.
It's got contact, but it needs to stick around. It's rolling away. Will it hang on? No, it does not. It's only a single point for the New Zealanders. A let-off for the Canadians. Chance for a 2, not converted by the Kiwis. It's only a single point. So with 7 ends in the book here at the QRC Winter Games Mixed Doubles Curling, presented to you by Forsyth Barr. As we head for home, Canada leads it by a score of 6-4, and they'll have last rock playing the 8th.
We'll take the power play on this side.
Emily Desjardins saying to Ben Smith, we're going to use our power play now. This is what we see many teams do. They will reserve the power play for this situation late in the game. When you've got last rock, you have a lead.
Which hand do you like for the center
And this
guard?
isn't
Which
about
hand
trying
do
to
you like
score
for the
multiple
center guard?
points for the Canadians. What this is about for the Canadians is keeping the 4-foot area wide open. By doing this, by choosing to use the power play in this situation, what the Canadians are saying, 2 up with last rock. We know that New Zealand has to steal 2 points. As long as that 4-foot is open to us, that's going to be very difficult for the New Zealanders to do. First task, set a guard in the center for the New Zealanders. Ben Smith gets it over that red hog line. Has to be completely across that red line to be in play. And we were asked yesterday, what is a hog line? Where did that come from? And frankly, I didn't know. I've been playing this sport forever, so we did a little research last night. According to curlers from Scotland, the term hog line is derived from Scottish agriculture. So I had it half right. It came from Scotland. In a country where so many sheep were raised, a lamb in its first year of life was called a hog. So when the young lambs kind of got past year 1, that means they got past the line, so got past the hog line.
Yep, really hard.
That's come into curling.
Yep.
Sport and education here for you on Sky Sport this morning.
Really hard. Okay.
Emily Desjardins.
Sweep it
Roule la
out,
roue,
Jess.
because la roue colle.
Remember, this can't go out of play. Otherwise, it gets replaced. Hits the sideboard, goes out of play. First 3 stones of the end, you can reposition them, but you can't remove them. That one comes back. Center guard survives. So that's one of the probable 3 mistakes that the New Zealanders are going to need to get a steal of 2 in this end. Trying to force the issue now, get around that center guard, get behind cover. Get one of those 2 points that you need to steal into position. Ben Smith.
Yep. 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 Hold it. Yep. Yep.
Got to get by that center guard. Oh, they squeak it past. Now they want to get it into shot rock position. Biting the front red forefoot. Nice shot, Ben Smith. It's in a good spot. Not only is it behind cover, but there's enough room to get another one behind it. Remember, New Zealand has to steal 2 points. One will not get it done. Robert Desjardins. Free to throw clearing shots now. Just looking to rip the front guard. Makes it. Rolls off to the side, so there are still corner guards, but importantly for the Canadians, clearing away the center guard. The New Zealanders will use those corner guards later in the end if they have to. At this point, you're looking for protection anywhere you can get it. Such a tactical sport. Robert and Emily are talking about 3 shots ahead. If they make this play, this is what we're going to do. And then if they do that, we're going to do this. Ben Smith. Trying to protect that shot in the rings with another guard. Ideally, we would like to straddle that black center line just past the World Curling Federation logo. It just touches that center line, so. Shot rock is not completely protected. Half open on the outturn side, and Emily Desjardins immediately puts the brush down for Robert. He'll be throwing a takeout shot at the New Zealand stone in the rings. Either or shot for the Canadians, trying to hit the stone in the rings, but failing that, they at least want to clear the center guard. Gave that one a real push. As he got contact, just close to disaster. That was not the cleanest release I've seen from Robert this week. 2 to come for both teams. Remember, New Zealand needs to steal 2, so this one is going to have to go in the rings. Ben Smith. Made a nice draw around the center guard on a previous stone. Trying to do it again.
Close. Oh, where is it?
6.
Ben thinks it's a little bit light. He's really pushing on the brush. Weight looks pretty good, actually. Very good. Nice shot, nice sweep by Ben Smith, biting the front button. Nearly perfectly behind cover. Great shot. Play for the Canadians now. Kill the center guard. Oh, very nice shot by Desjardins. That will leave Emily Desjardins
expecting a miss.
a takeout on her final shot, and she won't even need to stick around to clinch the victory. You know you're going to need a miss. So in this situation, for me, I think you just throw it right on top of your own stone. You're going to need a clean miss from your opponent.
Just throw that. She's not going to miss. Just throw something.
You have to. Make the target tolerance as small as you possibly can for your opponent. So to keep the target maximum small for me, I would just draw it right on top of my own stone. You're going to have no protection. You're hoping for a miss, but you're trying to make the target area as small as you can.
Well, they got to throw it there, did in front of ours, but there's no point, or just behind the corner go.
I think in front of the top 4.
You got to be inside the other reed.
Yeah.
Wait, should be close.
Has to be second shot, remember.
Whoa!
Jessica Smith looking on. Well, they've got second shot, but it's not perfectly lined up, so this will widen the target area for Emily. If she hits either of those stones, Canada wins the game. Robert Desjardins putting the brush down beside the stone on the button, thinking that's the one we want to throw at. There's a little bit of a gap between those two stones, so not inconceivable that a stone could go between the New Zealand rocks.
Coin de la roche à droite, avec normal. Elle va curler d'à peu près une pierre, elle va aller sur le nez.
And this is where, as an athlete, you just draw a deep breath. It's a fairly routine shot, but you just want to be thinking about good slide, good release. You've thrown these stones a million times in practice. This is for the win and a place in the playoffs. Robert just keeping this one clean. Looks very good. No problem here for Emily Desjardins. Makes the hit, removes the New Zealand stone, and Canada will be moving on to the playoffs.
Good game, thank you.
A back and forth game. New Zealand breaking on top early.
One red.
Canada making the comeback and hanging on for the victory at the QRC Winter Games New Zealand Mixed Doubles Curling event presented by Forsyth Barr. Your final score, Canada 7 and New Zealand 4. We'll update the other scores for you. Round robin play is now complete. Over on sheet B, it was Australia 8-2 over New Zealand. Australia, they are on to the playoffs. On sheet D, Korea 9-5 over Finland. Korea are on to the playoffs as the top seed. They move directly into the semifinals. Australia will face New Zealand in the playoff phase.
You've competed well, guys. What did you learn from the week?
I think we learned a lot just in terms of how we communicate and just little things that we need to work on in terms of strategy, just keeping things in front of the tee rather than coming behind. But yeah, no, we learned a lot in terms of how we play with each other and what we've got to build on for the future.
There's an exciting year ahead, World Championships coming up. How will you prepare, guys?
We're just going to keep working with our coach Peter de Boer and the other top level teams that we got here in NZ. Hopefully we might get a bit of practice time in Canada before the tournament, and yeah, we'll just got to play as much as we can and learn what we can.
Good stuff. Well played. Thanks very much. Well done, guys. You've qualified for the playoffs. How are you feeling?
Pretty good. I mean, it's an international competition, so it's great, especially first time I'm really wearing the maple leaf, getting to qualify with all the pressure that's on. I think it's already a good accomplishment.
You came from behind in this one. What do you think the turning point was for you in this game?
My takeout that was the third. Anyway, if I would have done it, it would have been like 4-1. So yeah, it's oh my god, I don't know what to say.
I mean, I think actually the turning point is just we got lucky a couple of times. They've had opportunity to hurt us. We've had opportunity in the first few ends to hurt them also. I missed a few shots, and then it was their turn. They had their opportunity. They missed their shots. So I think it was a well-played game, but with lots of opportunities left on the table for both teams.
Well, you certainly took yours. Well done. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much.
Team Canada on to the playoffs. And here are the playoff brackets. Round robin play completed. Now it's into the playoff rounds. Korea, Sweden, pool winners. They move directly into the semifinals. That will be tomorrow. Later on today, the playoff phase for the teams that were placed second and third in the pools. And we've got a couple of beauties for you. Australia versus New Zealand in one playoff game, and USA versus Canada in the other playoff game. The winners of those games advance to the semifinals. Semifinal winners go on to the gold medal game tomorrow. So coming up for you later on this afternoon, please come back and join us at the QRC Winter Games Mixed Doubles Curling event presented by Forsyth Barr. We've got the Trans-Tasman playoff battle for you. It will be Australia versus New Zealand. See you again later on this afternoon, live on Sky Sport.